will come first and then Sandeep, correct?
Yes.
But let's say in the file that they have given, it is not in that order, but Sandeep is coming first and Manoj is coming last.
Right. Exactly, sir.
So uh, what customer will ask us to do is, so I have a file like this, which is in unsorted format. Unsorted in the sense it is like a random format. And I want to see this file in a sorting order, which could be an ascending or descending, and that will be decided on the characters or the alphabetics, right?
Right, sir.
So we know as a human that okay, Manoj will come first, but Sandeep will come next, right? But
Yeah.
the system to understand, we need to do the proper sorting and then write it to the external file so that Manoj will come first and then Sandeep, and the sequence follows. It again depends on the business requirement. They will let you know what sort of sorting you need to do. They will not let you know that okay, in this snap use this or something. That is something technical for them. They will let you know that I want this sequence, so that as a developer what you need to decide is whether it should be a ascending order or descending order.
Okay. Got
Okay,
it. Yeah.
makes
Got it.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you, Manoj.
thank you, Sandeep.
So Manoj, if I want to customize my sorting, it's for example, it's Manoj, and the string number is 5, MONO and J, and my name is, yeah, Ashwani is more than the 5 al, al, alphabets. So if I need to yeah customize my sorting into the yeah number of the alphabets, so at that scene, how to we yeah arrange
So
the sorting?
first thing we need to understand is you cannot customize sorting. You have
Okay.
only two options, whether you can do the descending order or ascending order. Okay, and
Okay.
Snap will decide itself that, because there is this pre-built logic already there. What it will do is, let's say Ashwini is coming, Ashwini, it has to keep it first because it is starting with A,
Hmm.
and Manoj is coming next. So
Hmm.
that's how it decides the sorting order. Okay, let's say there are two persons with the
Hmm.
same starting letter, Ashwini and Ajay, let's say. Okay,
Okay.
which should come first? So first it will see the first letter. A matches. Okay. What
Hmm.
is the second letter? Second letter
Yeah.
is yes.
Yeah.
Ajay, no, it
Yeah.
decides on the second letter. So
Yeah. I think
yes,
it's follow the alphabetical ones only.
correct. So
Okay.
there is no customized logic for you.
Hmm.
It will be decided by the snap itself that it will go this order or that order. Okay.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
major thing is there is no customization available for you. Only two options: ascending or descending.
Okay. If I want to do this something as experimental or the as a customer need, so can we wrote the code also?
So as said, that
And
is something very advanced for you.
hmm,
Writing a snap for you, you need a separate SDK and everything. You cannot
okay.
do it in your trial versions, but you need a separate subscription for that.
Okay.
You can do it. That I am not saying you cannot do it, but you need a
Hmm.
separate subscription for that.
Okay. Okay.
You need to know Java because everything is built on top of Java, and how you
Hmm.
can write it so that it will be according to your logic. But yes, you can do it, but it is very advanced as a beginner actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more?
Yeah, Manoj. Hi, Manoj.
Yes, yes.
I
Yeah.
need to ask, what is the difference between parser and formatter snap, and when to use which one?
Okay. So it's actually a good question. So parser is something when you read, okay, the file
Hmm.
contents, okay,
Okay.
you need a parser. Okay.
Okay.
When you want to write the data into a file, you need a formatter. So it's like you read the data, okay, you want to see
Yeah.
the content, then you need to parse it, okay, and you have
Okay.
the data and you made all the modifications and everything, okay, you can push the
Okay.
data into the file, then you need to format it again into the binary. So that's where you need formatter. So formatter will be on the destination side always, parser will be on the source level always.
Okay.
Okay, source level in the
Okay.
sense first read the file and then parsing. Destination level in the sense, made all the mappings and everything is done. Then use the formatter to format it into a binary and then write it into a file.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, right.
Sir, one more thing. In the middle of this flow, one more thing comes transformation. So,
Right.
parsing and transformation look similar actually.
No, parsing is something which is, it's like, whatever you have in file is just reading it bluntly. It won't do any sort of modifications on that. You cannot do anything actually. But transformation is something, once you have the data, you can change the whole look of the data. That is something different. Parser, it cannot do anything. It will just show you whatever it is there in the file. That's
Okay,
the only
it just reads the format of the data, right?
correct. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
And transformation is something, it will modify everything. You can modify according to your needs actually. You can customize anything of the field that you have from the source.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, then shall we go ahead with the sessions?
Sure. Sir.
Yeah, okay. Let me share my screen. Let me know if you can see.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
We have connection manager in a need tool, right? So I can say my Snap live transformation, which has inbuilt connection manager. It says let's be equal scores. So I can select within it and I can hit my connection from the drop down. It will, so how can we connect that?
No, Sonali, I did not get your question. Sorry for that. Can you be more specific, please? Can you just ask your question in short? Like,
Sir,
what is? Yeah, please go ahead.
okay. Sir, we have connection manager in Nuta tool. Okay. So I can say my snaps are like transformation which in build connection manager. It's less the equal source. So I can select within it and I can if my connection from the drop down it will, so how can we connect that?
Sorry again, Sonali. I mean, did someone get her question?
Sonali, you're going to speak in Hindi. Someone will translate properly.
You can ask in Hindi, Sonali. So someone will just translate to me so that I can give you the answer.
So sorry, I have a connection problem. Just a minute.
So let's take this question at the end. We start with the session for today, Manoj. We have already spent around 20 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, let me just log into my system. Okay. So as said on the last session, I said I will be discussing about tasks. So in the last session, I have given you a brief that there are tasks. Tasks will be used to call, externalize. I mean, you can externalize the system of calling somewhere outside of the Snaplogic. Okay. You can do it. You can do that using one of these tasks, but tasks are divided into three subcomponents again. Okay, as you can read, tasks enable to execute pipelines. So you have two options to execute a pipeline. Let me show you. you will be having two options to execute a pipeline. So generally, as a developer, what you can do is to test your needs, you can directly go here to your, let's say this is my pipeline and I want to execute and see how it is running. The way you will basically do is hit this play button. Okay, it will as you can see, once I hover it, it is giving that execute pipeline. So it will execute the pipeline for you on this. Okay, but there is another way which you can execute this pipeline outside of the Snaplogic, which is by the use of tasks. So there are three different components again using, in a tasks. So using these tasks or different tasks, you will do a specific need, or you will just have this requirement from a customer. According to that, you will define your task in your Snaplogic. So where you can create this task, you have to go to the manager. Okay, in designer you cannot create a task. Where you can create a task, as I said, go to the Snaplogic manager. Okay, let's say where is my project. So in this I have mine, right? So there is this option in the plus create. Once you click on it, there is this tasks option. As you can see, there are these three options: triggered, scheduled, and ultra. So that's what we have mentioned here: triggered, scheduled, and ultra. Okay, let's go one by one. What is a trigger task? A trigger task is something which can be executed at any time, having a specific URL with your within your need. Okay, so let me show you an example. So as I said, this is where we can create a task. So if you click on this trigger task, it will open this box for you. Okay, where you can create a task for you, which using this you can run this whole sequence of pipeline where you have developed. Okay, using this URL itself. So I have shown this example already to you, but let me go through over it again. So once we click on the pipeline section, it will show you different pipelines. Let's say if there are 100 pipelines, it will show you all the 100 pipelines. But you can create a task for a single pipeline. There could be a sequence of pipelines, but I will tell you that child parent concept in future. But for now, just remember that you can create a task to a single pipeline, and that single pipeline name will be available here. Once you click on it, the respective one that you want to create a task for, it will generate a name also for you. This is the pipeline name, appending task with space. So you can just customize according to your need by putting a task, underscore or something. But there are some conventions that we are going to discuss in future sessions. But for now, this is how it is. So to run a pipeline, as I said, there we need a Snaplex, right? So we have to select which Snaplex that we want to run. As this is the trial version, we have only Cloudplex, and this is the name given by the Snaplogic itself. Let's say my company name is Manoj Tech something something. Okay, the name of this Cloudplex with the same name, like the company name also. As this is the trial version, this is how you are able to see directly Cloudplex, but it is not standard that it should be in the same name or it should be in the same format. Okay, according to the customer, whether it could be on Cloudplex or Groundplex, the Snaplex will be available here. You need to just click or select the last child node, because you cannot select any of these. You have to select the last child node. So once you click on it, it will be selected. Okay, what is the run policy? Using, within this dialog box itself, you can select what is the type of task you want to create. So as I'm explaining trigger task now, I will go through these settings. But let's say if I want to change to other task also, it will change according to that. Okay, so I want a trigger task. If I want to mention any timeout, let's say my pipeline should be, according to me, it should be running for 1 hour. Okay, what I will put in the timing will be like 60 minutes or something, because it shows that after how much time the pipeline should stop. Okay, stop pipeline execution after this duration. Let's say my expected time of a pipeline to run is 1 hour, which is 60 minutes. But for some reason, it is taking more than that. Let's say more than 60 minutes because of the data or some connection problem or whatever it is taking more time. So what it will do is, if I mention 60 minutes here, what it will do is it will just kill that pipeline running. Let's say that pipeline is still running after 60 minutes, it will kill that, in the sense it will stop that, and it will show you in the dashboard that due to some reason where it is running more than 60 minutes, it has stopped, something like that. So this is just to control the execution of a pipeline for according to our needs. Okay, why we need this option? Because let's say a pipeline is running more than the expected time, it will consume our CPU and memory. I have showed you already that CPU and memory in the dashboard, right? So it will just consume that, which will be a cost again to the customer. That, let's say, if there is no CPU and memory in any of the nodes that is there in Snaplex, then next pipelines or the other pipelines will not execute at all for that customer. So that will be a deadlock for him. Like he cannot, or they, let's say there are 10-15 pipelines that is there with the customer, no pipeline will run because of this, because that, the data issue or some connection problems, it is taking some time. So that's where they have given this option for us to just handle in certain way. Okay, it will not overcome this. Okay, it will not go over this, so that our resources that is there with the customer, like CPU or memory, will not be consumed and other pipelines will not get impacted. So that is where it comes. So it's not a mandatory field, so I'm just giving it optional, I'm not giving it anything. Okay, and they have given this option also, email or emails in the notification section. What does that mean? Let's say the Snaplogic is failed for some reason. So if, let's say, if I have given my email, okay, let's say I have given this 60 minutes option also. Okay, this will show me that, or send me an email with the particular information when it has failed. And they have given, once we give this option also, when the task has, these options are something related or directly dependent on the email that we have provided. So send an email when the task has started, when the task has completed, failed, stopped, as you can see, all of them are selected. So what I have done here is, once, I'm not giving anything, once the pipeline start, send me a notification to this email saying that the pipeline has started. Send me a notification saying that pipeline has completed, okay, to this email. Send me a notification to this email when the pipeline is failed. Send me a notification to this email when the pipeline has stopped, and according to that, suspended also. So when we provide an email, Snaplogic or the task itself is giving an option for us, when should a notification to be thrown to the end user, or the one, let's say I am the developer, mostly I'll be using this because to just to know how much time it is taking and what is the in between things that are happening. And let's say if I'm not there in Snaplogic, somehow this task will let me know that by throwing an email to this, that it has failed due to some reason. So I will come back to the Snaplogic and log in and see the dashboard, what is the specific reason. Even though you are not logged in, as you have set up this configuration, like whenever there is a problem, just throw me this email. So it will just throw me that. Okay, this is the use of this notifications bar here. Okay, when one of this action or any of these or combination of all these are happening, then it will throw an email to us. Make sense? This is the notification bar. And what is the debug bar? There are two options that they have given. Record the next 5 triggers of this task. So by checking this is a checkbox. By checking this, what we will get is, Snaplogic will be having the execution of or the execution stats of next 5 triggers of these tasks. Okay, if we click this, Snaplogic will only have the execution of that five triggers of this task only. Okay, if we don't click this, it will have every execution from starting to infinite times, how many of them are. Okay, they have given this to restrict that for some of the jobs they will be, I mean, they don't need to check everything, they just need a few triggers to understand that it is working correctly or not. For their purpose or for their custom need, they have given this option to them. Okay, it's just a checkbox. If we check it, Snaplogic will have the information of 5 triggers. If we don't check it, it will not have any information at all. I mean, it will have complete information from 1 to infinite. Any number of times it can execute, it will have all the information. Okay, and they have given another option also here. This is again a checkbox. Do not start a new execution if one is already active. Okay, let's say I have ran this pipeline by taking this task at 8:35. Okay, my assumption or the pipeline should take around 10 minutes. Okay, so 8:35, and it should not, it should take around 8:45. Till 8:45 it should run. So if we check this box, it will not start a new execution. Let's say even if I want to start, let's say I have taken this URL and I have hit it again to run within this 10 minutes, it will not start that new execution, because we have checked this and it is suggesting that it will not start a new run of a pipeline. Let's say if that is active already or it is already running. So this is what it suggests actually. So these are the two options that we have with the debug mode or a debug category. Okay, and the last thing that they have given is the bearer token. So earlier sessions I was talking about this authentication that is being given by the Snaplogic. So what is the purpose of that? So this is where it comes. Bearer token is given by the Snaplogic for the authentication purpose, where the end user using our the task URL can authenticate to this task, and I mean indirectly, and this task will go and communicate that information to this pipeline and it will run. So let's say if I am a particular user and if they say that I have the rights to run the pipeline, it's nothing but I have this bearer token and it is automatic generated. It is a sequence of character. It's just something random, so that the intruders in the sense, the people who are trying to attack my system should not know what is happening through the internet. Right? Let's say if you click this URL, it will throw that request, right? That request through online, through HTTP, right? Through internet. So through internet, in the sense, it will be available through internet to many users and they can attack at any point of time. So to have that authentication, okay, in a specific manner and it will should be in a secured way, they have given this token authentication, which will be a sequence of different characters. It will not be same every time. Okay, if you have this, you are the authenticated person and you can run this pipeline using this, okay, using this setting that we have along with the bearer token. So I have given everything. Okay, let me just save it. Okay, this is the task I have created. As you can see, I have created a task. This is the task that is given. Type is task, and when did I create? A type. Okay, there will be 3 tabs only here: name, type, time. Okay, so if I want to see the details, I have to come next to the task name, click on this drop down, go to details. Okay, it will give me the details like whether this task is enabled or not. I can disable it if I want. Okay, disable in the sense, even if I have this URL and if I click it, it will not work at all because it is disabled in the Snaplogic itself, and it will show you that 404 error, like page not found or something. Okay, if I enable this, it will be available and you can hit it at any point of time and it will be run. Okay, these are the statistics that we have given. We have selected Cloudplex, and this is a trigger task, and who is the owner of this. Owner in the sense who has created this task. Okay, that information will be given here. Okay, this is the cloud URL. Okay, this is the URL that we are gonna use. Okay, to run this sequence. So we have to copy this. They have given this copy to clipboard. Copy this and use this token that is being given. In future sessions, while we develop, exactly a particular pipeline, I will show you how we can use these both externally outside of the Snaplogic. So as this is a session to understand what is task, I'm just giving you a brief or a theoretical structure how it looks. Okay, but when you are doing the actual pipeline development and you have the access to do it, you will try it yourself. I will let you know how we can do it. Okay, these two things will be used, okay, by us, okay, to communicate to this pipeline, to do the necessary transactions, to read the file and SQL Server. So that is what the intention here. Make sense? And this is some secured URL. Let's say you have, other than this bearer token, let's say with some subscription policy and everything from Snaplogic, you have been provided with this Cloudplex secured URL. So this is something, as this is the trial version, we are able to see it, but if the other versions are there, you won't be able to see it. But this URL will be for a specific users or different users where they have the authentication mode other than the bearer token. We can provide the other external enhanced security also if we feel that bearer token is not okay, or this is not satisfied for me as a customer. Okay, I want more like enhanced security policies like that. We can use secured URLs. Okay, that's where this will come. As you can see, there is a difference in the URL. This has given direct elastic.snaplogic.com, but they have given a different URL. Okay, enhanced in the sense this will be hosted somewhere, right? Their Groundplex or Cloudplex. Here it has given that Snaplogic trial, right? As this is the trial version, we have been provided with this. But let's say if it is on the Groundplex or on the Cloudplex with the enhanced security URL, there will be a different name according to our Groundplex and the Cloudplex needs. Okay, with the enhanced security mechanisms and their responsible authentication methods, we can use this URL to hit outside of the Snaplogic. And this is something advanced. We will be dealing mostly with this. This is something advanced and we will not be seeing much, but in future sessions, I will give you a session or maybe 15 minutes or something on this to let you understand what I am speaking more about with some screenshots or something. Because we don't have the setup of Groundplex or Cloudplex with us, we cannot do this practically. I will show you how and this and that. Okay, this is an introduction to the task. So I am giving you an insight or the theoretical structure of how it is. Make sense? So make sense? And I am speaking about that how many number of executions has happened. So as this is showing no data available, we have not run anything. It will show you the statistics, like what is the creation time, what is the task status, what is the details. So this is directly dependent on so this is the setting we have given, right? So do not start a new execution if one is already active, right? Or the triggers. So these two things can be seen in the details. How we can see here, there will be provided with the stats. Let's say we have clicked that don't start a new execution. So we will be tracking our time till 8:45. It should not run. So creation time should not be less than 8:45. So by that we can understand as a human that okay, it has not started a new execution. Okay, because we have clicked that checkbox. And the next one is do not have my only 5 triggers. Let's say I am running for the 6th time and the 10th time and infinite time, and it will not show you that stats here in this box. I'm talking only about this box, the search, and below that. Okay, it will only hold the statistics of 5 information of the tasks. and more than that it will not need, because that is again to the specific to the customer, and if they say that it is not required, they will just click it according to that. And this search box applies when we have some information on that. We can just search based on the task status and based on the details here in the search box. So this is the overall view of a trigger task and the detailed section of the trigger task. Okay, so how we can create a trigger task? Go to the manager, click on plus. There are other components, don't worry about that. Go to task, go to trigger task, click on it. It will open you this dialog box. As you can see, it has generated a new bearer token. Earlier it was starting with 6, but now it has given you a new token, because every task will have a new token, and that is where Snaplogic is maintaining this security. If we want additional security, we can purchase or subscribe for that with Snaplogic. They will provide you necessary instruction and how you can provide that. And this is not a mandatory field. You can remove this, and let's say as a customer, let's say I am XYZ company and I have separate mechanism, and that can also generate a token, and I can provide this token here. Okay, this should be valid. And I mean, if I am typing something odd here, but this should be valid, and that mechanism is already within you with some customized tools and everything. You can provide that. Otherwise, Snaplogic will provide you one with free. Okay, so there will be a section called details, and there are different sections. You can enable a task. You can see where the project task is being created, which Snaplex is being used, what is the triggered policy, run policy, is it triggered, scheduled or something, who is the owner, what is the cloud URL, and what is the token that I can be used. If I want to enhance security, what will be the the URLs. If there are any details that according to my runs there will be available. And if I want to search based on the task status and the details, I can search it here. Okay, this is one of the information that we can see. And there is this activity log also. Okay, what activity has been done on that specific task. So asset create, Manoj has created this task under this project. Manoj has updated this task at this time 8:38. Manoj also updated this task at this time in this project space. So this is the statistical information or the configurational information or the updates that I have done on the task level. It will give me that stats. Okay, this is also statistics, right? That I have created at this time 8:37. I have created an asset. What is the asset? The task is the asset. Okay, so that activity log that we can see, right, on these specific things. If I click, I will get the activity log, right? If I click, I will get the activity log. Even it could be a pipeline, it could be a task, it could be an account. We will get the activity log. Based on that, what we have done, that will be shown there. Okay, so I have explained you trigger task. Okay, what are the different sections or different attributes that we have within a task, and outside of the task, along with that, we have discussed about the token and what is the bearer token, and it is not mandatory. If we have anything that we have own secured mechanism that we can provide that. Otherwise, we can use the Snaplogic's bearer token mechanism itself. Otherwise, if we want enhanced security, we can go and subscribe it from the Snaplogic. And outside of the task, we have two details that we can see. One is the details and the activity log. Details will have all the things that we have done according to the configuration side. Activity log will be given the statistics of what we have done on the task. So this is what it is about the task. So in runtime or in live, that we will be going to see a creation of a task in future. When we are actually developing a pipeline, I will give you a task to create. I will be giving you many tasks to create a pipeline, to create a task and integrate them, run it outside the Snaplogic, within the Snaplogic, and give me the stats. All these things we will be doing. But to get to know that, we need to understand this. So any questions on the trigger task? Trigger task generate URLs that can be used to execute a pipeline. So what is an URL? If we go to details, this is the URL, cloud URL. So this is the URL. Why this is cloud? Because this Snaplogic is on cloud. Let's say if it is on Groundplex, it will be given a different URL itself. Okay. The names, the description suggests that it generate a URL that can be used to execute a pipeline. We can add something also, which can be used to execute outside of a Snaplogic. To execute a pipeline outside of a Snaplogic. Because we won't be coming to Snaplogic. Once we create this, use this URL, run it somewhere outside. That will be done. So, any question on the trigger tasks?
Manoj, I have a question.
Yeah.
So apart from like trigger task and authentication key, so
Mhm.
is there be need of any API platform for trigger the URL and token like Postman or can do through the Snaplogic itself?
Right. I mean, the URL that you will be getting, this
Yeah.
URL you have to use it. Let's say as a developer, we will be using Postman mostly, right? To
Yeah.
test the APIs. But
Yes.
let's say as a customer, I won't be using the Postman because I don't know any technical terms. What I will do is I will have an application which will use this, okay? Use
Hmm.
this token, use this URL, and we will be providing these two in that application. As a customer, I'll just go and hit that application. It should take this and use this to authenticate and run the pipeline. But as a developer, you and me know that we can use the Postman. But to test for ourselves, we will be using Postman only in future.
Yeah.
I'll just
Yeah.
let you know what is Postman in a brief, and we can use that to test because we cannot use any external system other than that. So that is one of the mechanism we can use. Yes, within the Snaplogic, no. The purpose of the task itself is to run outside of the Snaplogic. That
So
is
yeah.
the trigger
So,
task. I mean, mostly I'm speaking about actually.
so
Yeah.
as you said, so that application will be external application or that will be by the Snaplogic itself.
No, that is something not related to Snaplogic at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Snaplogic won't worry anything about that system. It will just give you these two details. It will say that use these two and do whatever you want to do. So that's it.
Okay. And the like bearer token and authentication token are same, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Bearer
And
token. I mean, vice versa, we call it like that.
yeah.
But mostly, according to Snaplogic, we will call as bearer token. Actually.
Okay. And one more thing was is there.
Yeah.
Like under the activity log, whatever updates will happen, like process are done or whatever statics will be there. So we'll
Correct.
get the email for the same, or like
No,
we
no, no,
can
no,
see
no,
only
no.
the Snaplogic.
No, you won't be getting any email for this.
Okay.
You can just view it here.
Okay.
Let's say someone has deleted, I mean, without knowing to them itself, they have deleted somehow. So
Mhm.
as an admin, what I can do, I have admin access also here because this is a trial version, but you may not need that while we are doing the actual development. Admins will take care of it. But as an admin, I see that Manoj has deleted this, but he should not deleted it. I mean, he should not done that, but he has done it, I mean, without knowing himself. So I will track that and I will inform him you have done that. So make sure you don't do it in future. So something like this. I mean, future actions can be tracked here. I mean, history can be seen, and we can let them know that we should not do this or something. I mean, just to track, not to delete or update any assets or something.
But
Okay.
Manoj, you have to mention over there your mail ID.
This one?
You have to mention your mail ID when you are to create a task.
No, it's
Sandeep,
not
that
mandatory.
is different thing, right?
Yeah, that's different, and it's not mandatory at all. I just have given you for your information that this is also available. As you can see, there are stars here. Stars means mandatory, right? So the other things are not mandatory, but run policy is also mandatory. But you cannot select other than these three. So that's where they have not mentioned any star. Star means important. You have to select. You don't have option. So this is also important. So this is not mandatory. I can remove this. That's it.
Okay, Manoj, I am some little bit confused that our load balancing and tasks, if we are mention the time duration of task creation, if the pipeline is going to working on our dashboard and we are mention over their time that 60 minutes is the task is doing perform, and then why we are use our load balancing over there.
Right.
So I'm just little bit confused, Manoj.
Yeah, I got your question. So shall we discuss that last 15 minutes maybe? So this
Yeah,
is something that I can give you a brief, but let's use the last 15 minutes.
yeah, sure, no sure. Thank
Yeah,
you much.
yeah, sure. So any more questions we have?
Yeah, hi Manoj.
Yeah.
Is there any provision to send different notifications to different emails, like completed
Yeah,
task notifications to another
you
email?
can
And
provide any email here. I mean, it's not that mandatory that we have to send it to only one user.
no, no,
You can.
I'm asking that like completed task send another email and failed task send to the other email.
No, there is no option like that. You have to create two different tasks in the sense.
Okay, so if
So
you
I
send the
can provide only one here. Let's say this three. Okay. Right? So I can only select any of this to this email, right? For this task itself. So if I want a different user, different things, only that specific to that, you have to create a separate task for that with a different name. Don't duplicate the task name. Okay. With a different name, you can create any number of tasks for the same pipeline with a different name. Have your specific need there.
yeah, right. Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And I will be discussing the schedule tasks now. So trigger tasks are different from schedule tasks. As we understand from the name itself, trigger is something when a external system or manual intervention is needed. What do I mean? As a person, I have to take that URL and I have to go and configure it in some application or use a postman, as we are discussing earlier, or use some browser to hit it, right? That is something manual as a person that I have to do, right? Scheduled is something that is given by the Snaplogic itself, where without our human intervention, which I mean, you can execute a pipeline, okay, on specific timeline. Execute a pipeline based on a specific schedule, in the sense specific timeline. Okay, scheduled is an automatic one. Triggered is a manual one. Okay, why do I call it as a manual one? We have to take the URL, we have to configure it somewhere, and then we can turn it into a manual. But let's say I don't want to do anything. I don't want to put that URL into some external application or use Postman to run it and something. I don't want that whole stuff to be done. I just want this to be run automatically by the Snaplogic itself. Let's say this is what I have as a customer need. What I will do is I will create a schedule task for them, which is automatic, and I don't worry about the URLs and basic stuffs, everything. No, I don't worry about anything about that. So to create that, same thing, go to the Snaplogic manager, click on this plus. In this case, we will go to the schedule task. Okay, there is nothing different, same thing. So same, there will be no difference. If I want to change anything, I will change it. Okay, Snaplex I have to think, and these two things are common that I have discussed earlier. I have put the run policy as schedule because trigger we have already discussed, and now we are discussing about a schedule. Now the actual part of scheduling comes where this section is. Okay, I started is something because I am creating this task today, right? That's where it has started. We can give any future tasks date for this, but for now we have already given the date of today by Snaplogic. Okay, what should be the start time? Now the time is 8:58, but it has given some random time. We can check that also, and it was giving that the time zone, right? You might know or not, there will be different time zones according to the region that you are in. If you are in US, that will be a different time zone. If you are India, that will be a different time zone. If you are in UK, that will be a different time zone. Okay, if you are in somewhere mountains or somewhere in Pacific region, that will be something different. So according to your time zone, there will be different time zones available here. Okay, ours is India. What is that? Asia, Kolkata. So this is our time zone, which is an IST. Okay, likewise we have different time zones available. Okay, you can just go through it once you have this trial version. We will not be discussing everything on that because that is outside of the scope. But for your information, every country, every region has different time zones, and for us It is Asia, Kolkata. This is our time zone. So what I have done is I have scheduled this pipeline, okay, start at 2 in this time zone and start from this date. Okay. So, but extending to this requirement, what I need is I want this pipeline to run at the same time every day, not only today, every day. If I do this, it will run only today at 9 to at this time, at this date today, it will run this time in this region. So now at 9 to, if I create this task, it will just run and stop. But scheduling is nothing but it should run at a particular point every day according to my configuration, according to the business needs and the customer needs. It should not stop after one execution. It's not like that. Every day at that point of time, it should run, right? So to extend that particular thing, what we have to select is execute a pipeline on a regular schedule. You have to click on this checkbox. Okay, it will give you these set of things. If we don't click it, it will not be there. If we click it, we have a different set of parameters available now. Okay, do not start a new execution if one is already active. We have discussed this already. It will not start a new execution within the time limit. Okay, so now the repeating comes. Repeat by, do I need to repeat it days, minutes, weeks, months, years? We can select any of this, even minutes also. So do I need to run that pipeline every minute? Do I want to run that pipeline every day? Do I want to run that pipeline every week, every month, every years? So these are the basic things that we know as part of the timings, right? We will be knowing minutes. There won't be seconds here. Minutes, because no pipeline will complete in seconds for sure. That's where they have started from minutes, days, weeks, months, and years. So these are the basic configurations that we can click it and done it. I mean, we can specify that. If I minute will change. Okay, weeks will come here. Months will come after every month, or if after every 2 months, or after every 3 months it should run, something like that. Every year it should run, or after every 2 years it should run. We can give that. So this is something we can do according to the need. Along with that, there you can see this cron. Okay, once we click that, there will be another setting that will be opened up for us. So what does this mean? They have given this month, day of the week, hour, minute. If I want a pipeline to run, when should it run? It should run monthly on a particular day, and the particular day of the week, every hour, at what minutes? Okay, I'll be just taking off everything. Okay, so let's say I have a requirement. Okay, there is a pipeline. It should run 24/7. Sorry, all 365 days. Okay, on every third day of month. Okay, which could be Tuesday or Wednesday, on 12, 4, 5 a.m. and something at 0 minutes something. So what I will do is every month, what is the day I have told you? Third. Okay, every month third. It could be any day of the week. Third could be any day of the week, right? If I know that, I can select it, otherwise it is not required. What will be the hours I needed? At 4 a.m. it should run. Okay, at 8 a.m. it should run. At 12 p.m. it should run. At 4 p.m. it should run. At 8 p.m. it should run. I have given something. At 4:00, 8:00, 12:00. Okay. In the selected cron, if you understand correctly, every month at the third, it could be any day of the week. The pipeline should run at 4 a.m., 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m. Are we able to get it? So I am telling my pipeline to run at what time do I need to, or do that pipeline has to start? Every month, run at third, every day of the week at 4 a.m., 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m. It can run at any time, and accordingly we can select here. So it's just an example that I have given, but it could be anything. And this is what we call it as cron timing. It's like we can select on which day, which what is the particular period, what time, and what is the minutes. We can select everything using this cron. Okay, and the ends at, let's say there are options given after how many number of runs it should end, after on which date and time it should end. Never means it will not stop at any point. The pipeline will run on this particular days. Okay, and there is another option called blackout days. Let's say I don't want my pipeline to run it on Saturday and Sunday of this month. I will select that Saturday, I will select that Sunday. I can give all the Saturdays and Sundays of that particular year. Let's say from January to December, I can mention all those Saturdays and Sundays. Blackout dates in the sense, my pipeline will not run on that time, or will not run on that Saturdays and Sundays of that particular year or particular month, something like that. So this is where the blackout dates come. It's not only Saturdays and Sundays, any public holidays, and any time that as a customer I don't want it to run, and every month at the month end it should not run, something like that. So it is again to the customer need. So we will black out those days. We will mention those dates here, which will be blackouted. It will not execute that pipeline. The task will not run at all on that particular date. Okay, once I save it, it will be created. They see an asset with name already exists. Do you want me to overwrite? Why? Because I have given the same name already, right? I have to provide a different name. It could be anything. Run policy could be anything, triggered or ultra, triggered, scheduled or ultra, but pipeline name should be unique. Okay, save it. And it has created, it is giving these details. So if I want to go to the details, if you understand, or if you clearly see one thing, there is no URL here. For the trigger task, there is a URL because that is something manual, as I said, right? But here there is no URL because we don't need it. It will be run according to our schedule. It has given that what is the code blocks I have configured for, what is the run policy, how many runs did I run, nothing. Owner, mine, right? It's scheduled to start at 10:43, 9 to Asia Kolkata. The schedule is on a cron expression. It is not showing that cron expression. If we open that cron, we will be able to understand that every month at third day, okay, it is running at 4, 12, 8, something like that. Okay, it is also giving the next execution time, 5th 3 2023. What is the 5th? Is month May 3rd 2023 at 4 a.m. because the pipeline starts at 4 a.m. The first execution starts at 4 a.m. Correct? So this is the next execution time that they have given also. And this is same for triggered and scheduled. It will show you the details of how many times it has executed, and we can set it based on the task status or details. You will be able to see these things once we have it run or something like that. Okay. And we can select the number of what is the start date and end date also. Let's say this has exceeded, I mean, more than 100 and 1000 number of executions are there here. We can select a particular date from these dates. Okay, and we can see how many number of executions has made and what is the status of each. So these are the details that we have within this schedule task. And what else we have? We have activity log. Again, I don't need to explain anything for you. I have only created, I have not made any updates on this, and they have given the stats for this. So this is how the scheduled one will be working. So I have explained you the trigger task and a schedule task. Trigger task is for the manual execution, and we have to make it automate by giving to the external system. Otherwise, we have to run it manual every time by giving the bearer token. And the schedule task is basically where we don't need to worry anything about. The Snaplogic itself will take care the security mechanism and everything we don't require, because it will be running within the Snaplogic itself. There will be no data transfer or the hitting of URL outside of the network. No, there will be no problem or no security threats will be there, because it is within the Snaplogic and it will not show you the data outside of Snaplogic at all. Within the Snaplogic itself, it is scheduled and it will run forever. I mean, forever in the sense on the schedule that we have given. So this is the two basic difference. These are the two basic differences we have for that schedule. Execute a pipeline based on the specific schedule. Ultra is something advanced. I'll come to this on a later stage. I'll not be discussing in the initial discussions, because you will get confused with the trigger task and the ultra task, because these two are a bit similar, but this is something advanced. We will be looking at these tasks, these two tasks only mostly. Ultra will be comes in the later part, once we understand what is Snaplogic and how we deal it. This is extension to the actual Snaplogic we have actually, to process high volume of data, or to run a pipeline with low latency. We use this ultra task, but this is something advanced will come to you. But these two are the basic things that we need to understand, so that we have covered now. So now I'm open for questions on anything on schedule. Someone has asked me they have the confusion on the notes and something. I'll get to you, but on the schedule, any questions that we have? I understand that you have to revisit this session, okay, on the schedule, because you have understood many things now. I mean, you have seen many things within this particular tab, right? What is this, and how we can play around with the cron and what is not. Okay, you have to revisit this session, okay, to understand more betterly. So just let me know if you have any basic questions on this.
Sir, I have a little bit question.
Yeah, sure.
Can I run task scheduler without login?
Yeah. I mean, you need authentication, bearer token and everything, right?
Okay. Yeah.
No. I mean, my question to you is, are you asking that we don't require bearer token or not, right?
Yeah.
We don't require. Snaplogic will itself run this automatically, so we don't require any authentication and everything, because authentication requires when we want to get the things outside of the Snaplogic. Within the Snaplogic, we don't require it. It will run like that.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other question on the schedule task particularly? Are we totally clear on that? What is schedule task and how it do the thing, how it does actually?
Yeah, Manoj, we have to 60% cover, and when we are to able to see the again video, and
Right.
I have to clear all.
Okay. I think I will be getting more questions tomorrow, right? So
Yeah.
you will come up with more questions tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Mukesh, I have one query that if you are the sharing a URL of a task of the any person, and we are able to use this URL to another browser,
Yeah.
and if we are shared the admin mode to other person of the other side of Snaplogic, if there is possible.
Yeah, we can do it. I mean,
Okay.
he should have the Snaplogic access first. Okay. He should be having some sort of Snaplogic access. Then you can provide him the admin or whatever the access you want to provide with him, so that he can do the same things that you are doing, or more than the things that you are doing now. He will be able to do it.
So if I have to share the admin user and admin criteria of the person, and but the URL should be used of the other browser, and they are not using still a Snaplogic application, and there is some changes doing as for that side.
First thing to
So
remember, if they don't have Snaplogic, means you will not be able to give any admin access to them. They definitely need a Snaplogic. But if they want to run it outside of the system, yes, they can do it. They don't require any access. They just need your URL and the authentication. That's it. But they won't be able to see any Snaplogic, but they can run it. It's like they have read access, not to the Snaplogic, to the pipeline, but they cannot see. Okay, they cannot do anything, but they can just only see that it has executed. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Manoj.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what we have on tasks, and as said, I will be covering ultra tasks in the future sessions because it is bit advanced and we have to understand what is triggered and scheduled first. Then only we will go to run ultra. Okay. This is simple one. So you already know that what is a node. What is a node? I have already explained you. It's just a server, a computer which is running on a Windows system or a Linux system with the Snaplogic. Okay, the Snaplogic runs. That node helps as a JVM. We have already discussed what is JVM. JVM is something, a virtual machine helps Java to run the code. Likewise, this node will help a Snaplogic pipeline to help running the pipeline. Any questions on that? Because we have already discussed. I'm just giving a brief on this actually. Right? We don't have anything on this. Okay. So the orgs, I have told you that there will be a drop down here. I will get you a screenshot on that. I have got the screenshot from the from somewhere in the Snaplogic. So that organizations, right, commonly referred to as orgs, they are also called tenants, like different stages of development, testing, and production environments. Like I have told you that there will be a Dropbox on top of this. Once you click the drop down, you will be seeing three different things. So these will be the three different things that they are popping out: development environment, testing environment, and production environment. Environment looks same like this itself, but development will be done in this environment. Let's say if I have a drop down like this up here, and if I click on this, there will be testing here. I will click on this, it will turn me into that. So likewise, they have given this three environments. Mostly, most of the people from different organizations, they will be having only these three environments, but they will also have another thing, UAT, user acceptance testing, according to the customer need. That will be a fourth organization they can have, but mostly they will be having these three environments itself. That will turn to one environment to other environment based on the Dropbox you have here. Okay. So this is what the organizations, and we have already discussed, and this is nothing technical that we need to understand. It's just that you can shift out to other environment using this org section that is available there in the drop down. Are we clear on this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so by this we have completed the basic Snaplogic introduction. I will be going in depth with each and everything, but most of the things that we have within the Snaplogic we have covered. Okay, I'm preparing some knowledge checks. I will let you know once that is done. So I will give it to you. So I will share with Prashant and team. So they will share it to you. I mean they will be sending it to you. You have to answer them. So by this, we are done with the basic concepts of Snaplogic, the building blocks of Snaplogic, basically. Okay, the basic structure. So by now we are done with the introduction, basic introduction, but in depth we will be going in future in the next sessions, but in depth we are not done. But basic building blocks, everything on the Snaplogic, what is designer, manager, dashboard, and different components, and some of the extensive components, and what is this, what is that, we have understood. And by now we might be able to understand what is Snaplogic and what are the different things that we can do using Snaplogic. Yes or no? Question to you guys. I mean, are we able to get what is Snaplogic by now? I mean, are we able to understand what is Snaplogic by now? What are the different components we know? I'll be sharing you this document also. I will share this with Prashant and he will share you. So the basic building blocks of Snaplogic, are we able to understand or not? I understand there are different things that we need to cover still, but are we able to understand what are the different components that we have within Snaplogic? The introduction of Snaplogic.
Yes.
Yes, Manoj, I have covered.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Any questions we have on the introduction? Otherwise, I will go to that question that someone has asked. Okay. Someone has asked this question on notes. So can you just please repeat it once?
Yeah, Manoj, I have repeat that.
Yeah.
I just want to know if we are mention the time on tasks that you
Right.
have to run your pipeline is a 60 minutes or 2 hours, as let's say.
Right.
And if we are using the time out duration of your pipeline,
Right.
then I'm just little bit confused according to our notes. When you are, I just want to know that in a
Right.
project we have to create some multiple pipelines. Am I right, Manoj?
Right. So let me clear you on that.
Yeah.
So timeout is something that we are trying to limit a pipeline for moving away from the execution time that they have planned. Let's say a pipeline should run mostly at most 120 minutes, but it is crossing that time. That's where this timeout comes to handle the pipeline execution. Okay. Handle, just keep it in mind that we are handling the pipeline execution by using this timeout. But where comes this Cloudplex and the nodes, we are not handling the pipeline execution here. We are handling the CPU and the memory usage. Based on that, we are using the, or Snaplogic is doing the load balancing. Let's say for this 2 hours, within this 2 hours, let's say, okay, that pipeline has consumed almost 90% of CPU and memory percentage. It will shift to the next node or next node. So these two are they are not at all dependent, or they are completely different. So using this, we are handling the pipeline execution. Okay, pipeline execution, how much time it should run. But in the dashboard, we are handling the CPU and memory usage. We are seeing that based on how much time a pipeline is taking to run, or how much resources it has consumed. Okay, maybe 90% or 90% of memory to execute a pipeline within this 120 minutes. This is somewhere we are dealing with the pipeline, but this is something that we are dealing or seeing on the server side of the CPU and the memories. Load balancing only happens when the pipeline is taking much memory and CPU. The time will not come here. Memory and CPU usage are high by that pipeline. According to the data, it will shift the running of that pipeline to the next nodes, any of the nodes. But we are constraining the pipeline execution here by giving the timeout here. After 2 hours, even the pipeline is running, it does not bother about the data and everything. It should exhaust in the sense it should kill the pipeline, or it should stop the pipeline. So this is particularly on the pipeline level. This is particularly on the server level. It depends on the data and the volume of the data. It depends only on the pipeline. Make sense? These
Got
two are completely different. Don't just interlink them. Two are completely different. We are only talking about the pipeline here. We are here talking about most the other things other than the pipeline development or something where the pipeline actually runs. This is something on the CPU and memory level. Make sense?
Got it. Manoj, my second question is if there is possible to handle load balancing as a manually.
No, it's not.
Okay.
So see, there are two things here again. So I told you that there are two Snaplexes. One is Cloudplex and the Groundplex, right?
Yeah, right.
Cloudplex is by Snaplogic. They will do it for you. Groundplex is again by the team of the customer. Snaplogic will give you the specific training. That team can only do the scale up process or adding another node or another Snaplex. Okay.
Yeah,
to
right.
the Snaplogic. You cannot do it. The team who is responsible for that, they will be able to do it. And let's say you are part of that team along with the development team, you can do it as well.
Okay, Manoj, and my second question is, if we have 4 pipelines, and can we able to do what is the first preference the pipeline should be is executed and second pipeline should be executed? Is there a sequence we have to manually create it?
Yes, as part of the development, as I mean, that's what I was referring to, parent child process.
Yeah, right.
So
Okay.
that will be something advanced for you for now, but once we understand the basic pipeline structure, then I will go through that, the parent child concept. Yes, we have to build it in a sequence wherein one after another we can call it, or in a parallel way also. In a parallel way we can run multiple pipelines also. That way we can also develop, and this way in a sequential manner also we can define a pipeline. So it's basically according to our need and along with the customer things also.
Yeah, thank you, Manoj. I'm clear.
Okay.
Thanks
So,
for the answer.
team, do we have any questions? So as said, we are done with the introduction, the basic introduction. I will be sharing you this document. I mean, I'll be sharing this document with Prashant, and he will share it to you. And I am coming up with some knowledge checks. You have to revert it to the team on the things that we have covered till now. So I suggest you go through the you know video sessions that we have till now, the recordings again, and try to answer them. Okay. And we still have 5 minutes left, and I am open for any questions.
So Manoj, I think
Yeah,
I mean
please.
like under the trigger task, like we'll get the status like triggered, processed, or completed in the mail. So
Right.
is there what about the like under the schedule task? We'll get any status
No,
through the mail or
scheduled is something, it will run automatically.
yeah.
Okay. And that we cannot define, because according to the customer need we can define any number of times, right? So
Okay.
in that case, in the pipeline development itself, what we can do is we can use email sender snap that I have shown you earlier also. We can
Mhm.
use that, and we can send our customer needs, I mean
Okay.
customized email notifications also, that we can do actually.
And on the same time, like under the trigger task, we can
Mm.
add email. So is there like we can add multiple email over there?
In the task you are asking, or at the code level?
Like at the in the task under the trigger task,
Yes, we
as there
any
is the option like we can
email.
add the email. So is there
Yes,
like I can
any
add
number of
multiple
emails,
emails? Yeah. Okay.
any
Okay.
number of emails. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Manoj,
Yeah.
what is the difference between Snaplex and Nodes?
Snaplex is a combination of nodes.
Okay,
Combination or a group of nodes is called a Snaplex.
okay,
One or more nodes defines a Snaplex. Okay.
okay, right.
Yeah. Any questions, team? As said, I mean, we are almost done. We should be able to have many questions. I am not expecting questions on triggered and scheduled. I understand you have to revisit the session again, but till now, uh, okay, I think we don't have anything. Prashant and Ravi, I think we can wind up. If you have any further questions, actually.
Sure, Manoj.